Welcome back to Doing Football. Today, running back breakout candidates. We're joined by Nick, Notorious Fantasy. Nick, how's it going? Thank you for joining us today.
I'm doing great today. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much for the invite.
Awesome. I have to ask you, so we launched our NFL salary cap game just before the weekend. So we've got a super flex format. Me and Jared have been filling out lineups. Have you had the chance to check it out? We've got a free entry, $10 free entry. Use code Drew9, so everybody get on there, check it out. Super flex format. No kickers, no defense. I mean, what do we love about fantasy football? It's certainly not kickers. It's offense. So Definitely. Have you had the chance, Nick, to check it out?
Yeah, Jared sent it to me a couple of days ago, and I did end up looking at it. I do plan on entering on there. Definitely better than DraftKings and FanDuel, So, yeah.
Yeah.
Love to hear that.
Appreciate that, yeah. I mean, it's good because even in our season-long leagues, when do I – we didn't even take a kicker in our FSGA league a few weeks or last month. I don't want to pick kickers. I don't want to pick defense.
No benefit to it.
We'll let you start with a running back breakout candidate because usually I let Jared do, but we got to let the guest
go first.
So tell us who you have as a breakout candidate this season at the running back position.
All right, my breakout candidate is rookie running back of the New York Football Jets, Michael Carter. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of trying to get away from Michael Carter. They're a little bit worried about Tevin Coleman, Ty Johnson, all these other guys that are on this team. I'm not honestly worried at all. I think that while it might take Michael Carter 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks into the season to become the guy where he's going right now off the board in the later rounds, I think that he is honestly a steal where he is going. And I think that even if the Jets aren't a team that you realistically normally want a running back on, I think that now with Zach Wilson there, with the new head coach, that this team is going to be a lot better. And I think that Michael Carter's a running back that I am very excited to be getting on all of my teams. So I really like him a lot this year. I'm not sure what you guys think about him, if you're a little bit more worried about Tevin Coleman or Ty Johnson or anything, but I think eventually this will be Michael Carter's backfield.
Yeah, I mean, with how late he's going in drafts, he's a great value pick. And I think everyone here in this office likes him at least a decent amount too. So I think he could be the lead back for the Jets. And with how good he is in the passing game too, it's not like he's got too low of a ceiling. That's if he takes the full workload here, he really could be a true breakout.
Yeah, I love his pass catching upside. I mean, competing with Javonte Williams at UNC, he was just as good. I mean, they split carries pretty much down the middle. I am, I guess, a little bit worried in terms of size about his work on the goal line. If they might, who's it going to be? I wouldn't be excited about anyone else on this.
Is definitely up for grabs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be excited about anyone else in this group in terms of in terms of fantasy relevance other than Michael Carter, because I think he has the chance to take over, and he should take over. I mean, like you said, Ty Johnson, Tevin Coleman. I think it's definitely an open competition, and I think the offensive line play is going to be much, much improved than we've seen the last few years. I like the addition of Vera Tucker in the draft. Becton looked great at times last season, so I think they'll be really improved offensively, and I think Michael Carter will be the guy that benefits from it. So I like that play.
Yeah, I think the preseason will have a big telling too. If we see him start to get first-team reps, then that's going to make me even higher on him. I think then he'll have a much better chance.
Yeah, he's someone that could start to climb up draft boards before, when people are drafting the week before the season or the first few weeks, especially what we see in the preseason. Jared, who do you have? Well, I'm seeing your screen, another rookie running back.
Yeah, I'm going back into the rookie running back well. It is Javonte Williams of the Denver Broncos. Currently has an ADP of 503 or running back 26. Now, to me, Javonte Williams has a very high ceiling, and from what we've been seeing this offseason, the floor just seems to be getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
Now, Melvin Gordon is dealing with a groin injury, and Mike Boone is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So that means Javonte Williams is the clear one as of right now. Obviously, when Melvin Gordon comes back, I think he'll probably be ready for week 1. He'll come back with a role, but this is just a really big benefit for Javonte Williams to pull himself ahead of this team. And even in the first preseason game, we saw he was really good, and he played well. I think he had 5 carries and 29 yards, something like that. Mm-hmm. So he was really good. And the Broncos traded up for him too. You have to remember that. Almost into the first round. It was pick 35. So he's early second round pick. They trade up for him. And beat writers have been saying for a long time now, he's going to have a role in this offense. And it could be a pretty sizable one. Ryan O'Halloran, who's one of the beat writers, said Williams' worst case scenario is splitting touches, while his best case is opening the year as a 3-down back. Right. Now, I don't know if he'll open the year as a 3-down back. It might not be until the second half of the season, but kind of like Michael Carter, he might not start off as hot, but he can get really good in the second half of the year if he's really good, I think he could be.
Yeah, the interesting thing here is I think for our side on week 1, Denver has a good matchup. I can't remember who it is because I added
the Jets,
Melvin.
I think.
They have the Jets.
It's either the Jets or the Giants, one of the New York teams.
It's the Giants. The Jets have the Panthers.
Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the
Sam
Giants.
Darnold.
So I saw that matchup and I'm like, oh, Melvin Gordon early in the season, he'd be a nice play like on owner's box for week 1. What do you think, Nick, of like the early how things will develop early on? Because Javonte Williams actually spent time in OTAs playing with the ones. Now that Gordon's hurt, he's playing with the ones. So what do you think early season return's going to be and what to expect from Javonte Williams?
I like Javonte Williams a decent amount later on in the season. I think early on he's probably going to end up struggling, would be my guess, because if Melvin Gordon is healthy, then I think Melvin Gordon will be getting used. But there's obviously a very high chance that towards the end of the season that Javonte Williams is one of those league winner type of running backs if he does take over. But early on, I'd be kind of being a little bit more cautious on him. But, after that point, after the beginning of the season, I'm probably going to be much more in on Javonte Williams. He's probably more of a trade candidate, in my opinion, in fantasy football, because I think he'll probably start off, unless Melvin Gordon's groin is actually messed up and he doesn't end up seeing the field, then Javonte Williams will be a guy that starts off slow, but eventually takes over.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I feel like he's not a guy that there wouldn't be a scenario really where he ends up on the waiver wire. Like maybe Michael Carter, if things are just, they get really silly with the way they use the backs, that Michael Carter might end up on the waiver wire. So Javonte Williams probably, if he, that role isn't there right away, he's someone you'd have to trade for to get. So I think it's tough. If you get a few good running backs early and you're willing to, have Javonte Williams sit on your bench to start the season and you've got the depth to do so, then make the move. But for me, if I'm not in a good spot running back wise, then maybe I can't really be willing to take the jump on him.
It might all come down to how well he's actually playing. Like best case scenario, he ends up with like a Nick Chubb type scenario with him and Carlos Hyde in his rookie season, where Chubb was just so much better than Hyde that they were like, okay, we just have to give this guy the ball. So if that happens, then the ceiling is the roof for Javonte Williams.
Yeah. He was my favorite player in the draft, like bar none. I bought his jersey. Well, it's a fake jersey, but I got his Javonte Williams UNC jersey already. So I'll get into who I have as a breakout running back. It's Darrell Henderson of the LA Rams. So I'm a little surprised in terms of maybe this ADP will start to really rise as we get closer to the season because, of course, with the Cam Akers injury, there's still some time for adjustment in terms of where he was going before. But we were really, really excited. I think most people had Cam Akers in the very least in their top 10 before he went down with the Achilles injury. You were really excited about his outlook for 2021. I'm not sure why we're not as excited about Darrell Henderson's, because his production in terms of yards per carry was at a higher rate than Cam Akers, 4.5 yards per carry for Henderson, 4.3 yards per carry for Akers. There was over 380 total carries last season between the three backs, being Akers, Henderson, and Brown. So like a large piece of the pie for him. I was surprised they didn't bring any veteran into this backfield. It's Xavier Jones and Jake Funk. I love saying Jake Funk's name. So
the GOAT.
There's no replacement there. I can't imagine these two players taking a sizable workload of that, that 380 I mentioned. And right now he's going behind Miles Sanders and Josh Jacobs. Those are two guys I have so many red flags in terms of targeting. Why wouldn't I be taking Darrell Henderson ahead of these guys when I think there's a clear path to, I think, at least 250 carries for this guy on this team. It's just, he was productive. He's a good pass catcher. This offense, and under Sean McVay has always thought of, being methodical, controlling the clock, and that's by running the ball. And we saw it with Todd Gurley years ago, but they've got the league's top defense. I'm sure they're going to ride on it and try to control the game. And Darrell Henderson's going to be the benefactor of it. So, I mean, I can't see why you'd take Josh Jacobs or Miles Sanders in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, this offense is going to be really good too. Like probably one of the better ones in the league. So, if they're as good as everyone thinks, then Darrell Henderson will be a pretty big benefactor of that. But the question is, will he have the workhorse role Cam Akers was expected to have, or somewhat close to that? Because we've seen conflicted reports from the team, like Xavier Jones is going to get involved. We've seen some of that, but we've also seen Darrell Henderson will be the guy. So it really depends on what's going to happen there in terms of the split there. What do you think, Nick? What do you think the split will be with this backfield?
Yeah, honestly, a lot more recently, it seems to be that this is going to be his backfield, at least from the reports I have seen. But you are kind of right. There are a lot of conflicting reports. Some people are saying that this is going to be more of a split share type of deal. But I do think unless they were to bring in someone, which at this point seems like a very minimal chance, that Darrell Henderson really does have the upside to potentially be a top 12 running back. I have him in like the running back 18-ish range. So I do kind of agree. I'm not going to be drafting Josh Jacobs ahead of him or Miles Sanders or any of those guys with those kind of risks that I don't really like. Because I really feel like Darrell Henderson could be the workhorse guy, not necessarily a real workhorse, but the guy getting a majority of the touches there and could be really good this season, especially with Matthew Stafford being there. I really like Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of with Matthew Stafford? Do you see him as someone they'll kind of I think he'll be more of a game manager than someone who they look to throw the ball at a really high volume. He's a great player. I love Matt Stafford. But I see it that they want to live through the run. And so I want to throw this at you. What do you think between David Montgomery and Darrell Henderson? Like, where do you have the two of them between each other? Because to me, those are the two that are close to me in terms of a decision.
Yeah, I personally would lean David Montgomery, but that's also based on the fact that it seems like Tariq Cohen's going to miss some time, because if Tariq Cohen is there, then he basically just sucks up all the receiving volume. And then David Montgomery is kind of worsened in that sense. But if he misses time like it appears to be, I would definitely draft David Montgomery over him. But I think David Montgomery's upside is going to go up completely once Justin Fields takes over. How long will that be? I'm not even sure at this point, but I do think Fields will eventually be the quarterback.
My God, the red rifle, fucking Andy Dalton still. I can't believe someone's vying for that guy to start for an NFL team.
QB1, never forget.
Unbelievable.
I'm probably with you though. I think I'd take David Montgomery over Henderson, but I would go Henderson over Jacobs and Sanders.
Yeah.
So we're probably all in the same spot.
I was Montgomery. Montgomery was just in front of Henderson for me, but I can't. Yeah, again, I can't do Miles Sanders or Josh Jacobs like you guys said. Anyways, Nick, anything you want to talk about or plug the channel before we sign off?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at NotoriousFNTSY, YouTube Notorious Fantasy, and I'm also on another YouTube channel, Awesemo Fantasy Football. Also, subscribe to this channel if you watch the video. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button, turn the notification bell on, all the things you got to do to help them out.
Yeah, appreciate that. Make sure download the Owner's Box app, play our weekly Superflex salary cap game for week 1. 100K prize pool. We're giving you a $10 free entry. Superflex, no defense, no kickers. I mean, it's just simple as that. Just get an entry in, send us your lineups. And again, of course, comment down below. Let us know about a running back breakout you like this season. Montgomery and Henderson are interesting ones between the two. And thank you guys for watching.